Jaya Braja Jana Yamuna Tiravana Yamuna Tiravana Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Welcome to Srimad Bhagavatam, the Zoom class on ISKCON Seshadripuram. I have been instructed to discuss on shloka number 2930 on the 21st chapter of third canto. So we will continue discussion shortly. I think by that time devotees also will join. Prabhuji has joined, Vidura Prabhu has joined. Shanta Gurunta Prabhu is there. So we'll continue by the time I complete the shloka. Yes. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupadhanayam Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Uttapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavasya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanitam Tasya Jivam Sadvaitam Sarvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Savana Dalita Shri Vishakanitam Tasya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shivanu Suti Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpataru Veshya Kupa Sindhu Vacha Pujinanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna. So we'll start the. I'm projecting the shloka. Hare. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimare Jaya Pataka Swanamiti Nama Namo Acharya Padaya Nitaya Kupa Padaya Kamuragata Damadaya Nagaragrama Tare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimare Bhaktivedanta Swanamiti Nama Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Visheshinyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram. So this is 29th shloka, 21st chapter, 3rd canto. Yat atmabhutam viryam navada prasavishyasi Vriyatpadiye Rushiha Adasyanta Ajnastadmanaha. Word to word meaning. Ya, she, te, by you, Atma Bhutam, sown in her, Viryam, the seed, Navadha, 9 daughters, Prasavit Sati, will bring forth, Viryatradvadiye, in the daughters begotten by you, Trishaya, the sages, Adasyanti will be, Ajnasa, in total, Atmana, children. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. She will bring forth 9 daughters from the seed sown in her by you, and through the daughters you beget, the sages will duly beget children. There is no purport here. So we'll go to next shloka. 30 shloka. Tvam cha samagyanishthaya nidesham ushattamah mayi tirthakruta shesha kriyartho mam prapatsase. Part 1. Tvam, you, cha, and samyak, properly, anusthaya, having carried out, nidesham, command, me, my, usattamaha, completely clean, mai, unto me, tirthikruta, being resigned, asesha, all, kriya, all of actions, artha, the fruits, mam, to me, prapattase, you will attain. Translation. With your heart clean by properly carrying out my command, resign to me the fruits of all your acts, you will finally attain to me. Here the words Tirtha Pruteshu Kriyarthaha are significant. Tirtha means a sanctified place where charity is given. People used to go to places of pilgrimage and give munificently in charity. This system is still current. Therefore, the Lord said, in order to sanctify your activities and the results of your actions, you will offer everything to me. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Whatever you do, whatever you use, whatever you sacrifice, the result should be given to me only. In another place, in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord said, I am the enjoyer of all sacrifices, all penances, and everything done for the welfare of mankind or society. All activities, therefore, whether for the welfare of society, country, or humanity at large, must be performed in Krishna consciousness. This is the instruction given by the Lord to the Kardama Muni. Maharaj Yudhishthir welcomed Narada Muni. Wherever you are present, that place becomes sanctified because the Lord Himself is always seated in your heart. Similarly, if you act in Krishna consciousness under the direction of the Lord and His representative, then everything is sanctified. This is the indication given to Kardama Muni, who acted on it and therefore received the most excellent wife and child, as will be disclosed in later verses. Hare Krishna. Just pulling out the shlokas. Hare Krishna. So we'll start the discussion. Yeah. So this is our 21st chapter, and this is basically a conversation between Maitreya Muni and Vidura. So I'm just recapping the whole thing so that it becomes easy to correlate the context here. And Vidura is inquiring about Maitreya Muni about the process of creation. So how this creation happens. So, and Maitreya Muni explains primary creation, that is from Mahavishnu, and then secondary creation by Brahma, and Lord is always present in the form of Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshaya, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, and that's elaborate discussion. And in between, pastimes of Lord Vara also he explains. And now, in this particular chapter, if you see the title given by Prabhupada, it's like a conversation between Swayambhu Muni and Kardama Muni. So Kardama Muni is one of the important Muni or Rishi who has taken part in creation, like a Prajapati, and he's actually a son of. He's coming from Brahma's mind, and he has been instructed by Brahma to continue the creation, start the creation. And so this chapter is basically starts with this discussion. So it's basically conversation between Maitreya Muni and Vidura. And in that process, basically, just a minute, I'm just some disturbance here. Something, just a minute. Okay. Then Kardama Muni basically, as instructed by Brahma. So Maitreya Muni is explained to Vidura, and then this is a chapter on conversation Swayambhu Muni and Maitreya. But then right now till this shloka, there is no conversation between Swayambhu Muni and Maitreya. Sorry, Swayambhu Muni and Kardama Muni. It is basically the current shloka is conversation between Lord and Kardama Muni, because Kardama Muni started doing austerity on the instruction of Brahma to satisfy Brahma as well as Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu. And as a result of that severe austerity with the sincerity and dedicating all his consciousness to Lord is appearing in front of Kardama. He is giving his darshan, and that is also described in some shlokas before. And Lord is telling Swayambhu Kardama Muni to continue the creation. And in this shloka, basically Lord is speaking, saying that last shloka is Lord is telling that you will get the wife which will be very benevolent and very high level devotee, and he will Kardama Muni, that is devotee, his wife, he gets it afterward, that she is a Swayambhu Muni's daughter. And this first shloka, today's first shloka, says that Kardama Muni and devotee, they will beget 9 daughters, followed by Lord's incarnation, that is Lord Kapila, son. Lord Kapila, we know, is Lord himself, and he gave the Sankhya philosophy. Sankhya philosophy is basically analytical studies of Vedic knowledge, and ultimately aiming towards achieving the Lord Krishna's devotion. So Kardama Muni is doing a lot of tapasya here, but ultimate aim is to achieve the Lord's darshan or Lord's lotus feet. That's also important. In some slokas before, Prabhupada explains that the whole purpose of tapasya, any yoga or tapasya, Ashtanga yoga or any yoga, is to ultimately get a darshan of Lord or surrender yourself to the lotus feet of Lord. So here Kardama Muni has done a lot of tapasya. Brahma also was very happy because he was doing very sincere. That's what Brahma explained, that you are a very great soul and you are doing all this full consciousness and sincerity, and hence there, and Lord also is there. And there Kardama Muni asked to ask the Lord to give bestow his blessings in the form of proper wife, where he can continue the creation. So his purpose is not sense enjoyment. When he's asking for wife and all paraphernalia, basically he's asking that benefit from the Lord to serve the Lord's purpose, that is creation. So creation is basically creating the progeny. And Kardama Muni is asking very pious and very good wife and paraphernalia to continue creation. That's what these slokas are saying. And Lord is sanctioning that. Lord is saying, don't worry, you will, by seeing your austerity, by seeing your sincerity and your full consciousness in me, anyway you are sanctioned, you will get it. And then Lord tells that Swayambhu Muni's daughter devotee will come and she will marry you. And then after some slokas, the Swayambhu Manu and is coming and explaining to, and admitting and then offering his daughter to Kardama Muni. That's the next sloka. We will not cover that, but that's why this chapter is called conversation. There is a conversation between Swayambhu Muni and Kardama. So, and then there is a separate slokas and separate chapters also, how Swayambhu Kardama Muni devotee created the progeny, and then Lord Kapila's pastimes also are there. Lord Kapila instructs Sankhya philosophy to his mother devotee, and that's very auspicious thing. So that's not in this chapter, that's other chapter. Okay. So this is the preamble, and here Lord is telling the first sloka is no purport and is very that way straightforward, like yes, once you Kardamuni marries devotee, they will get 9 daughters, and 9 daughters they will also ultimately marry to some Rishi, and they will further continue the process of creation. Correct. But then second shloka, Prabhupada has elaborated very, very clearly that with your heart clean by properly carrying out my command, resigning to me the fruits of all acts, you will finally attain. So here the shloka started Tirthi Krute Sesha Kriyartha. So here it means basically Prabhupada explains significant. Tirtha means sanctified place where charity is given. So Prabhupada explains here what is sanctified place. Sanctified place means basically they are all sanctified by Lord, the Lord's presence, and these places sanctified, and on these places only charity has to be given. So why charity has to be given? Because we have to sanctify all our activities or actions, karma. So what is the sanctification? So sanctification means basically if you offer fruits of your activities or karma to Lord, means it's sanctification. So how that sanctification? So just by offering your food to the Lord, why that sanctification should happen? I mean, one may question you, okay, why sanctification should happen? Okay, I'm offering to Lord. So that is what we have to understand, Lord's position. Just by presence of Lord, only sanctification happens. Just His presence, or we say like holy name. Holy name is not different from Lord. So when you chant holy name, Lord is present there. And we get sanctified. Our life gets sanctified slowly as we chant holy names of Lord, or whatever activity we do, surrendering the fruits of your activity. That is sanctification. So Prabhupada is mentioning here basically the Tirtha. Tirtha means basically sanctified place where charity is given. So now we have seen this, like in India, we go to various places, right? We go to many places and we give charity. And what is charity? Charity is nothing but we suppose we give some, donation, or we give some anything, whatever we are on to the Lord's purpose or a devotee. So what that is a fruit of our action, right? Suppose we have got some money, or we give it to some brahmanas or at tirtha places, or donate to some trust, matha, or our these pilgrimage places. That gets converted to tirtha, right? So tirtha, I mean that gets sanctified rather. And those places where Lord's presence is there only can be sanctified. So we have to visit only those places where in case you are giving the charity, we should give it to the places where it's a sanctified place. We call it Tirtha Kshetra, right? So we should be very keen in giving this charity, because we have to sanctify our activity. In absence of not sanctifying our activity, what happens? Suppose we are doing a lot of karmas. Now there will be fruits, good fruit, bad fruits. Good fruits, whatever we get, if we don't offer it in charity, if we don't offer it to Lord, then we remain attached to that fruit, and there is bad and karmic reactions will be there. So Lord says, like Sarvodharmam Parityaja, that's a famous sloka. So He is telling you, offer, you surrender me to me. Surrender means what? Surrender means by consciousness, surrender by doing our activities, surrendered by all our activities, whatever you do, kayani vacha manasya buddhatva prokesh svabha, like that. So that's a very famous sloka in Bhagavatam. Like so whatever you do by my activities, by body, suppose I'm doing job, we are all doing job, or we are doing some activity, so that we have to dedicate, we have to operate to the fruits of that mind. Suppose we are doing some knowledge gaining, we are doing singing, we are doing some preaching. It should be towards the Lord's message, or towards the Lord, related to Lord. We can describe the pastimes. So this all by mind and intelligence. We can use our intelligence in studying the Vedas, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and explaining to others. Okay. And whatever our swabhava, like whatever our inner core activities or whatever we feel we are attached to in so-called doing so-called karma, we can divert that activities fruits in favor to Lord. And once we offer that fruits to Lord, we don't get that karmic reaction, and we don't remain attached to that activity. So detachment follows. So once you follow the detachment, our path of liberation starts, and then we can attain Lord's lotus feet. So the whole purpose of material creation, I'm again going back to, because material creation as a pastime has to be understood only in the light of why this material creation is created, the purpose, objective behind it. If you don't understand, then understand the objective of material creation, which is done by Lord, it remains only some storytelling, or okay, this material, it's just become just description of some phenomena. But if once you understand what is the purpose of creation, then we understand why we are here. What is our context? What in what context I am in this creation, and in what context creation or prakriti is reciprocating with me. So we have got karma, we have got prakriti, then we have got atma, paramatma, Lord, and we ourselves as a tiny soul. Lord is a super soul. Purpose or karma. So the whole things are correlated, right? So once we understand the purpose of creation is, then all our activities has to be towards the satisfying the Lord, because that is our original constitutional nature. That is our original constitutional. That is the purpose of our life. That is the purpose of our life is, human life is basically to inquire about Lord, inquire about Prakriti, inquire about what is the purpose of this creation. Why am I here? What I am supposed to do? Why I am suffering? How to get rid of this suffering? And then, is there any further like spiritual world, like that? So once you understand this purpose, our activities will get more. So this is one of the activity where there is one of the shloka which describes why everything should be offered to Lord. Because judged by Lord's presence, everything gets sanctified. So the so-called Tirtha Kshetra place is sanctified by Lord's presence or His devotee's presence. Otherwise, it's just place, right? So once we go there and offer our fruits to the at this sanctified place, you will get benefit of detachment. Will get benefit of lot of pious benefits will get, and main benefit is basically detachment. So if you go to Tirtha and doesn't inquire about Lord or his devotees, about his pastime, then it's sort of then it becomes only the ritual. But here we have to go. So Prabhupada is explaining very nicely here. So basically, we have to offer everything to Lord as a sacrifice at such a sanctified places, right? So all the activities, therefore, whether for welfare of family, society, country, humanity at large, must be performed in Krishna consciousness. Okay. So even though charity should be in Krishna consciousness, otherwise charity remains some transaction or some business thing. Okay. So once we offer our fruits of our activities to the Lord, we get detached. That's what we saw. And presence of Lords itself make the whole place as a sanctified place. So there are basically this shloka is also, there are many similar slokas in Bhagavad Gita also we have seen. Like why Lord, why we should offer this to Lord, why not other? So Lord said you have to offer your fruits of activity only to me. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam. Just a minute. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram sarudam sarvabhutanam sham Natva mam shanti muchati. So if you want peace, if you want happiness, you should offer all your fruits to Lord. But knowing that Lord is a proprietor, Lord is a sanctioner, Lord is an enjoyer of everything. Whatever you do, whatever karma you, whatever yajnas you do, He's an enjoyer, He's a benefactor of, and He is a proprietor, He's the owner of everything. So once we know this, we get detached and our false ego reduces or gets eliminated, because currently we are having false ego which is telling us that I am the Lord, I am the what, this is all for me, I need to enjoy. So that will go away. And that's the starting point of our, that consciousness, and then slowly gets into, then it's become easy to become Krishna conscious once we uh, try to eliminate the influence of false ego. And there is one more sloka: Yat karoshi yajnasi yajnoshi tadasi yat yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurvasha madarpanam. So Lord is telling, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer as a oblation to sacrifice prayer, whatever you wish to as a gift, and whatever austerities you perform, O son of Kunti, do them as offering to me. So same shloka is also appearing, same in the sense, similar meaning shloka is appearing here also in this particular shloka today, where Lord is instructing, and in Bhagavad Gita, Lord is instructing, whatever you do, whatever you do, whatever you, bestow a gift, whatever you austerity to perform should be for me. So here Kardama Muni is doing the austerities for what? For creation. But creation is for what? Creation is to fulfill the Lord's purpose. So you can offer fruits of your activities physically, whatever you offer to Lord, or you can participate, or you can, carry out the mission, or carry out the instruction of the Lord. Suppose, for example, Lord says, you go and tell about myself to others, preach. So we have to go and do. That's all. Okay, Lord say you surrender. Okay, we should surrender. Lord say you offer whatever you eat, so we take prasadam, right? Whatever we do, whatever, suppose some people sing nicely bhajan, so they can offer it to Lord. So once we are participating in Lord's purpose and helping Lord in matter of creation, Prabhupada explains in many places. That's real Krishna consciousness, right? But of course, it has to happen with devotion, because the objective for us of doing all those activities to achieve devotion of the Lord. Okay, one may say, okay, well, suppose I support, I give my, kayani vacha. What is the purpose? Purpose is to achieve the devotion of the Lord. Why we should achieve the devotion of the Lord? Because that is what we are supposed to do now. That is our object. That is our purpose of life. Human life is to athato brahma jigyasa. And to achieve the devotion of life, we need to. This is various process. Various yogas are given. Bhakti yoga, Jnana yoga, Ashtanga yoga. Bhakti yoga is the topmost. Here, Kadamun is doing very high level tapasya, Ashtanga yoga, like, and then, but ultimately he's seeking the darshan of Lord, and the Lord is giving the darshan. So, Prabhupada mentions some days back, we also see that Prabhupada mentioned very clearly the whole purpose of any yoga or any tapasya. So Lord is also telling. So purpose of tapasya is to offer your fruit of that tapasya to me. That consciousness should be towards me, towards Lord. So you can see many shlokas, and it's all culminating Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, all culminating to all single point, which is all about surrendering to Lord. That's the whole purpose, and achieving the devotion. You can see um, various shlokas; they are very corroborative to each other. This is so. Whatever two shlokas were yat karoshi yat janasi bhoktara vyagyatavasa, and there are many shlokas in Bhagavad Gita which tells that Lord is telling you, offer everything to me, to come to me. And here Bhagavatam is basically storytelling, story form, where pastimes of the Lord and devotees. So here Kardama Muni is a devotee of Lord. Creation is there, Brahma, Lord Brahma is there. And they are actually implementing, they are actually demonstrating, or they are telling us how we should have this. They are taking part in creation, but all this is coming, Bhagavatam is coming, being told to us by Sukadeva Goswami, and then Sutta Goswami later, is to understand that these are the real demonstrations of what Lord wants from us. What Bhagavad Gita slokas or whatever this, it's in story form, it's in pastime form. We are understanding. There are many devotees doing tapasya, doing bhakti, doing jnana, lot of knowledge, and all is basically ultimately in Bhagavatam. Every pastimes is converging to Lord. Lord's surrender or Lord's devotion. That's all Bhagavatam. That's why Bhagavatam is Amala Purana. Other Purana, there is a lot of Karma Kanda, some Karma Kanda, some Upasana Kanda, Dhyana Kanda, here and there. But Bhagavatam is very point focused on devotional service. And if you go anywhere in Bhagavatam, any pastimes of Lord as devotee, it comes there. Yes. So ultimately it's all. And irrespective of devotees' positions, and some of them are Brahmanas, some of them are demigods, some of them are demons, some of them are animals. So all they are also doing this, you know, their respective tapasyas or their respective activities, and ultimately offering the active fruits of their activities to the Lord and attaining the perfection in the life. So this is what I just wanted to share on this shloka. So basically, just to summarize, so because Bhagavatam moves in various conversation, right? So Maitreya and Maitreya Muni and Vidura, and then Sutta Goswami, Shukadeva Goswami, Parikshit. It goes into this, and then here the Lord is speaking to Kardama Muni, but ultimately, so this chapter is on Kardama Muni and Swayambhu Muni talking to each other. So like that. So this is all. So summary here is basically Lords get satisfied and Kardama Muni tapasya and his sincerity, and he is very happy, and he bestows the best of possible benefits. Prabhupada concludes the shloka in purport, saying that similarly, if we act in Krishna consciousness under the direction of the Lord and His representative, then everything is sanctified. This is the indication to Kardama Muni, who acted on it and therefore received the most excellent wife and child, as will be received. So in our material life also and spiritual thing also, we have to dedicate everything to Lord, so that everything gets under transcendental platform. That is the beauty of devotional service, right? So Prabhupada also mentioned, yes, we should we should offer everything to Lord, and so Prabhupada concludes in that shloka. So the summary here is that only Kardama Muni is asking good wife and paraphernalia to have further so-called grostha life and participatory progeny making, and Lord gives him, and he is doing in Krishna consciousness. And then it's about, and that's why Lord Kapila comes uh, to Kardama Muni's son. So and then Lord gives best to him, and Kardama Muni continues the creation. And there are further shlokas how it is done and all that. So basically this is a summary that everything should be dedicated, or there will be surrendered to the Lord, and that consciousness has to be Krishna consciousness. So whatever activity we do, so we have to give the fruits of the activities to the Lord. So that's a summary of these two slokas. So that is all from today. I wanted to share with all of you. Now I request Prabhuji, Vidura Prabhuji, to put the comment or add, and then we can get into question and answer sessions also. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. 100%. Nothing specific to add, Prabhu.
Yeah. Okay, Prabhu. So any questions, comments on today's shlokas, today's subject? So like this is a third canto is quite vast, right? So a lot also. So I think my suggestion is we have to every time we take some shlokas, we have to go to preamble and connect everything. So that's why it's important, because it's moving into various conversations, and ultimately it's a creation, and the whole canto is dealing with creation. So very nice way explained by Maitreya Muni. I'm just trying to see whether I missed some point. By the time some question, comments come, I'm just trying to see some additional point I've jotted down. I can share here. But of course, there is one more one. By the time some question, you can intervene one there if there are some question between. You can intervene to me. But meanwhile, since there are nothing specific coming immediately, so basically one may ask, we go nowadays to Tirthas and there are a lot of now is everybody is Brahmana there? No, may not be. Everybody. So nowadays difficult. But then that's why we have to be very careful where we give charity, and it should be to authorize this thing. That is a general, because everywhere we can. Of course, Tirthas are sanctified, no doubt. That is also transcendental platform. But we have to be very careful in giving charity to right person, right this thing. Because nowadays um, pure Brahmanas are very less, but it's okay. That's why. So, but then Prabhupada is very merciful. He has given all the facilities to where to give charity also, and which very confirm that yes. So we know that's what we are associated with our international society of Krishna consciousness. So we know where to give charity, and it's all well taken care, so that it doesn't, because nowadays we have to be very careful. Everybody may not be at that level. So, but anyway, that's a general point. So, any further questions, comments, we can discuss on that.
So on this point, Prabhu, sometimes, we may not have, let's say, if there is no, we are going on a, yatra, and sometimes we may not have an ISKCON temple or whatever. But if you actually look at devotees who are dedicated. Like, for example, if you go to these temples, there are many temples which are these full-time devotees who are like, at least my experiences in South India, I have traveled down south to. So there we find many traditional temples, Vaishnava temples, Sri Sampradaya temples, and I've seen very the pujaris there. When you speak to them, you understand they are worshipping there with so much difficulties. But personally, there is not much money. There is no support from government, but they do traditional worship, like father, son. They continue to be pujaris there, and if you really talk to them, you understand how austere it is to be worshipping there. Literally, nobody comes. Very few people come in a day like that, but they are somehow managing to run the show there. So sometimes when we see such devotees, we see what are we like. The kind of austerities they are going through, the kind of commitment they have. It's amazing. So there are devotees like that. So we can look to see how we can support
Yes.
it in our little form and
Yes.
shape.
Yes.
So we're not. So sometimes we fear, oh, no, if I do charity I may get karma, whether this guy is good, that guy is good, those kind of things come into our mind also. But I'm also reminded of one point where I read Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. So once he was going, and then there were disciples were there, and then there was some beggar who was trying to ask for some alms, and then these devotees were not giving because they know what to do. They know what some will get karma and those kind of things like that. Then they were saying something in there's some conversation. Then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj said, don't you people have any heart? So again, I'm not therefore suggesting that we should keep giving alms to anybody who's just begging, but then that discrimination has to be there. One needs to have that. Prabhupada always says, right, do what is best, or he says you use your common sense, use your intelligence. Right, sometimes you may have to see in what circumstances what it is, and given particularly when you are going on tirtha, that means when you are going on yatra, sometimes in that place, as you said, it is already sanctified. So people who are there, who are the locals there, even though they may not look like traditionally this one. But if you see some sign of them having that thing for Lord, we can see how we can help. I mean, ideally it would be for people who are associated with the temple, whatever, traditional temples, and they are doing some services. But very rarely some of these things may strike you. You may see then, as Vaishnavas, you may want to give them some mercy. That is also there. So we need to be, of course, not.
Heart with heart, we have to see.
Yeah, we need to think through and then decide some of these. I mean, particularly sometimes this is only when we are sometimes very rigid. I'm trying to think in those terms. But how do we decide, and what are the considerations for making a charity?
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Nice point, Prabhu. I agreed. Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Best thing is to offer prasadam, that we can always do. We can sponsor some prasadam for people. So whatever be their nature, if it is given as prasadam, they can't misuse it, right? They have to eat it. Just ensure they don't throw it away. So we can sponsor, ensure it is offered, and then offer it to those people. We can do such things.
And there are many, almost every place is sanctified that way.
Yeah.
You follow properly. Yes, Prabhu.
And then the idea is that as grahasthas, the one of our main what do you call duty of a grahastha is to do charity.
Yes.
See, if you are a sannyasi or if you are a brahmachari, then you are receiving charity. But if you decide to take up grahastha ashram, then that becomes a very prominent responsibility. Like, it's not about simply enjoying life,
Yes.
In grahastha ashram, all comforts, all that. But then the idea is the person is actually supposed to do charity, and a considerable portion of his money in charity. And we, of course, try to completely associate with this, which is nice. But that's another important point. We need to give charity here. That's what like Krishna is saying, right? You need to offer all your thing to me. So that is something which we cannot ignore. We have to see how much, and sometimes Prabhupada had even given some X percentage, to a specific instruction to specific devotees, like that. Like, you give 25% or, whatever, 10% like that and all that. So it is important we consider that very seriously.
Yes.
That, okay, we, because if that is not done, then we will get more sucked into this sense enjoyment in Grahastha Ashrama, because that is natural when you are in Grahastha Ashrama, right? Therefore, this is actually a sort of put you under check, and will also help us to detach from material things, right? While okay, this is when you start giving away, you are losing that affinity towards that thing. And particularly in that thing, you say, okay, this is money, is what is money, that's a piece of paper. Those kind of things should come in some point in time. In Grahastha Ashrama, you are more and more tend to become more body conscious, because it's naturally there. So how to get over it is by just renouncing particularly material things, and that is represented by the, what do you call, the wealth, right? So yes, it's very important we do charity.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Thanks, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
We have hundreds of reasons within our own community to do. Big temples getting constructed, our own temple, huge requirement is there. Like, we can see it's growing step by step, small steps are happening, but so much of money is required for everything. So we have no dearth of where to give charity, at least in this community. We can, Prabhupada has said once, sannyasis means people don't take money, right? They reject money. Like that they said, you should reject money because you're sannyasi. Prabhupada said, no, if you don't know, you please give it to me. I know how to use Lakshmi in the service of Krishna.
Yes.
So therefore, this moment we are able to use Lakshmi properly, make nice temples for the Lord, and offer nice prasadam to all the living entities. So it's very easy for us, at least in this in our community, to know where to give charity.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So any further questions, comments? Okay, so if there are no questions, comments, I think we can close the session. Oh, Hare Krishna.
Sure, Prabhu.
Jai
Thank
Sri
you.
Prabhupada ki jai. Tantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Thanks all devotees for Hare
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very
Hare.
much.